Well, howdy partners, this is episode number 6 of the opinions of Mr. Hank, the Lone Star Redneck Cowboy. This is the season premiere of the series and it's good to be back. In today's episode, I talked about the best years of music to start the series in episode 1, and now, I am going to talk about what was the best music album in history, and before that, let's talk about Family Guy. I have now hated Family Guy. Why? Because the HD animation killed the whole show. I liked their HD animation, but it killed the series. I would rather watch the old seasons of Family Guy, because it's easily way better watching the HD seasons of Family Guy. Deadpool and Wolverine is my number 1 film of the year 2024. Why? Because I love Deadpool and Wolverine. I like R-rated superhero movies. But this one is one of the best. Their car fight is one of the best scenes I've ever seen. Now, onto the best music albums. Straight Outta Compton by N.W.A, the most controversial hip-hop music album throughout the late 80s and early 90s. The songs, the music, the police, the chasing, the cover, R.I.P. Eazy-E, it changes the game for Ice Cube, so he became a solo rap artist to debut his first studio album, America's Most Wanted. Dr. Dre, MC Ren and Eazy-E. The album fits the movie for the name of the album itself. The best singles were the album itself, F the Police, Gangsta Gangsta and Express Yourself. I can't say the actual word of the song, F the Police, because it's Plotagon, and I have to keep this a little family friendly. Ice Cube has to leave the group way too soon to make his own company, and to make 2 of the first success studio albums, America's Most Wanted and Death Certificate. He even begins his Friday and Are We There Yet film series. Of course, he'll become a guest celebrity of Sesame Street. As for the rest of the group of N.W.A, they added the disrespect to Ice Cube since Cube left. They made their extended play album, 100 Miles and Runnin', and their second and last studio album, Nif's for Life, with the words unspaced backwards, and I am not going to say the actual N-word because of racism, and it's still Plotagon, and I am keeping this content of the video a little PG. You people need it to be 10 or 12 years old or older to watch this video. And the group of the N.W.A ended too soon, with Dr. Dre leaving to make his company, Death Row Records, to debut his first studio album, The Chronic. And speaking of Ice Cube and the end of N.W.A, Death Certificate is Ice Cube's second studio album that disrespects and buries N.W.A following Ice Cube's first movie, Boys and the Hood. It's my number 2 album of the year 1991. My top 5 singles of the album: The Wrong Nif to F With, True to the Game, Steady Mobbin', My Summer Vacation, and one of the best rap diss tracks, No Vaseline. This is one of my favorite rap albums, and the album cover is badass. Ice Cube in the 90s was just different. You people might be thinking, I missed the old days. Imagine Kendrick Lamar and his 90s diss Drake at that time before 2024. Like I said, this causes Dre to leave N.W.A and the group ended too soon. Speaking of 1991, on the same year took place in 1991, my number 1 album of the year, Nevermind, by Nirvana, changes the game of pop, rock, and post-grunge music. The songs are memorable, the album is memorable, the cover is beautiful. 1991 is the best year to be alive. My top singles from the album were Smells Like Teen Spirit, Come As You Are, Lithium, Territorial Pissings, and Drain You. Rest in peace, Kurt Cobain. You have changed people's lives and hearts, especially me. Kanye West ruined Taylor Swift's big moment at the 2009 VMA Awards, and the internet beginning their hate on him and criticize him. The internet began their criticism on Kanye until one album Kanye created and made would not only save his life, but changed the landscape of pop culture. In my opinion, this is one of the greatest rap music albums to start the 2010s decade. My top singles from the album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, are Power, All of the Likes, Runaway, Monster, and Dark Fantasy. This is one of my favorites, so 10 out of 10 for that. I know people hated Kanye West and Kanye is the most hated celebrity, but, seriously guys, stop the internet hate. Nonetheless, 2010 is a big year for music, and this is one of my favorites. This album had defined the decade in pop culture. But other people had mixed opinions over the album. Taylor Swift's breakup album really fits her musical career. Talk about love, breakups, betrayals, drama, sadness. This was Taylor Swift's last country album. Before 1989, this was Taylor Swift's best album. In my opinion, my top singles from the album Red were 22, We're Never Ever Getting Back Together, Everything Has Changed, I Knew You Were Trouble, State of Grace, and the name of the album itself. This is the album Taylor Swift actually reaches her musical prime. Since when do we have a romantic or depressing rap album? The album Take Care was Drake's best work. Drake reaches his musical prime at that time period. It was inspiring when you wake up in the morning, and mostly you listen to the album in late nights and midnights. My top singles from the album are Headlines, Shot for Me, Marvin's Room, Crew Love, The Motto, Make Me Proud, and the name of the album itself. Now some of the great songs from the album didn't get an official music video. But nonetheless, it was a pretty cool album. The cover of the album says it all. But it didn't beat one of the most iconic rap albums of the decade 2010s. Even in pop culture it was. Take Care was good, but nothing was the same. It gotten even better. Drake has done it again. Drake was still in his prime at that time. 2013 was an awesome year in music, without a doubt. In my opinion, my top singles from Nothing Was the Same would be Started from the Bottom, Hold On, We're Going Home, Connect, Worst Behavior, Pound Cake / Paris Morton Music 2, Come Through, Too Much, and All Me. This album deserves either 7.5, 8, or 8.5 out of 10. This changes pop culture. I may not be the huge fan of Justin Bieber, but this is one of the best albums of 2021 and today's decade, hands down. Almost every song was great. My top singles in my opinion, Peaches, Ghost, Hold On, Anything, and Lonely. This album really changes everything. I can listen to all of his songs from the album all decade if I have to. This album deserves an 8 or 8.5 out of 10. Drake has a new look from 2015 to 2016. One of the most iconic and greatest albums of 2016 and the 2010s decade in my opinion, featuring one of the greatest album covers in the world, even in pop culture. Drake is ruling the 2010s decade of music. My top singles from the album Views would be One Dance, Hotline Bling, Controlla, Too Good, and Hype. Most of the songs were great. This album definitely deserves an 8 or 9 out of 10. Before the last album I had to put on the list, here's my honorable mentions. It was a really great decade for the music, the 2010s. 2013 to 2017 were fun years. Especially this album. I think the original version is better than Taylor's version. Because Taylor's version really sounded similar and of course differently. Taylor Swift is so popular in the 2010s decade. My top singles from 1989, Shake It Off, Blank Space, Bad Blood, Style, Wildest Dreams, Out of the Woods, and Welcome to New York. This is my number 1 album of 2014. It really changes the game of pop culture. Definitely a 10 out of 10. She's my favorite pop artist next to Drake the rapper. That's all for today. In your opinion, in the comments section, what is your best music album right now, or the ones that missing from the list or actually on the list? It could be Prism, by Katy Perry, Up All Night, by One Direction, Midnight Memories, by One Direction, and R.I.P. the GOAT, Liam Payne. I can't believe he fell from the hotel balcony and died. I'll miss him so much. But nonetheless, leave the comment below, stay tuned and I'll see you in the next video.